Hello everyone, I'm Anubit and welcome to yet another Team Fortress 2 mapping video. So, I'll try that again. Like last time, I am going to look on the texturing part of the map. This time it's actually around the very first thing I built in the map originally. This big, tall building along with the platform standing on it, leading into another small building, etc. This was basically, again, the foundation for the map itself to be built up around. Not that it's more important than other parts, but it's the very first place I started with. And it was also based on a location nearby me, where I found the idea of building up around. I may show you a photo of that someday. But to talk about the actual texturing, as mentioned a couple of times, I expected and wanted the blue part. That means, I guess you could say, the part, especially the starting building, but also the buildings nearby them, to be focused on the hard-working type, which you for some reason see as being wooden, whereas again the industrial part for the reds are more metally, concrete and all that stuff. So this main focus of this building would be wood. And as already seen by now, a lot of both flooring and walls were to be wood. I knew I wanted the walls to be. I wasn't so entirely sure about the floor. I tried with some concrete as well, which I can't recall if actually became part of the video. But I didn't really feel like it didn't work very well with all the woods on the walls. It simply didn't look right to have a concrete floor with wooden walls around it. So I ended up going on with wood there as well. Then another problem came up to actually find wood that would look too similar while still fitting together, so to say, which I felt like though I managed to accomplish quite well. Deciding to go, as you see here, also with something a bit different, so it didn't look entirely like the other parts of the buildings, which was quite a big deal to me. The windows in this old building you see are placed, the rest are not, and not something I'll be focusing on this exact video. That instead was the actual texturing, and actually getting a roof on this building as well, which will come very soon. So it was basically about finding some kind of, how should I put it, mix between looking decent and being functional, so to say, and not looking out of place at the same time, which I guess could go under looking decent, of course, but it's very, and was very important to me to find some kind of way to make it fit in without, well, without spending too much time on going into specific details either. Here I am decided to add an actual roof. That's again something I'd forgotten when I originally built the building. And I didn't want that typical roof you see where it's just like a triangle meeting on the middle, so to say. Here I instead wanted, well, again a triangle since it is a roof where the rain in theory is meant to drop off of. But it was just one large one going from one end to another instead. It's something I've tried a bit to play around with in the past. Looking alright, I feel like it could easily have been worse at the very least. But there was a lot going on at the same time here for me. I both wanted to texture the inner walls, but also wanted to hide off the small section. I wanted to get the roof totally finished, etc, etc. So, as you can see, there's a lot happening at the same time between finding the right combination, the right roof, getting everything off these yellow bars sealed away, everything that's meant to be seen there is, at least, since I think I mentioned before, but it's basically a texture being not applied in the actual game engine when it is being converted. It's something I didn't realize first when I started mapping, not this specific map, but in the past, that it's important to use this. I mean, basically everywhere that's not being seen by the player, it has to be that more, so ideally at least, so as little as possible has to be loaded basically by the game itself, which means small map files, smaller game in the end, and so on and so forth. So it's about finding that golden path. Here I spent a lot of time to get the actual edge of the roof to look somewhat decent. It's so small things that now 10 times it's something that only you'll realize. But that I anyway put the time into. I mean, why the heck not really? Why? Right, what's the word I was looking for there? So now it's just the finishing touches here for these buildings. Getting the actual corner to look nice. I don't know if you really call it corner. Not that it matters at all. Again, even more wood. I was a bit worried about getting it too much wooden, but in the end I was pretty pleased with the outcome, which you'll be seeing here in, well, about half a minute or so. Just the finishing touches being put into place, really. Had to get the actual walls on here as well, of course, which led to a lot of time being put finding the right one, so to say. I switched a lot around, even when I finally thought I had picked the right one, and I was switching once again to actually get well, something I felt fitted even better. It didn't look quite the same as the walls, it's just the floor. You can see these are very much alike, which is like, does this work? It could. And, well, here is the final result, as you can see in the browser, in the game itself. As these are falling through, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope that I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.